for you in the advertisement that I'm responding to.
Is this the, halfway, the box of kittens half alive, $10 on Craigslist?
Good heavens, no, it was an advertisement on Craigslist, but it certainly had nothing to do with kittens, half alive, dead, or otherwise.
Was this about the box of toenails?
The box of, good lord, you're selling a box of toenails on Craigslist? No, it wasn't about that.
You haven't seen these toenails, they're fucking amazing. Half of them are painted. I got French tips. They're actual French people.
Well, that sounds nice, but no, I'm afraid that's not what I'm calling about either. Perhaps I could just read the ad that I'm responding to, and we could save all of this comedic deliberation.
Okay.
Fantastic, okay. The ad that I'm responding to reads, Dream Day Comedy seeks sketch writer. Must be derisive, support questionable concepts, and preferably be mobile.
Yes, the mobility is the most important part of that.
Fantastic. Perhaps I can tell you a little bit about my qualifications. You see, I've got a Master of Fine Arts degree from Harvard University. I was the associate editor in charge of smugness for the National Lampoon, don't you know? I've been published in many comedic journals. Excuse me. My kitties are scratching on my feet. They are the most adorable things ever.
Okay. I have some very important questions for you.
Certainly, fire away.
How much ranch can you drink?
How much ranch can I
How much ranch can you tolerate?
How much ranch? Well, I'm not lactose intolerant if that's what you're asking, but I don't know that I've ever had the desire to find my threshold or anything like that. I'm sorry, is that your phone or mine?
I think that's your phone. I think your phone is sharing.
Okay, well.
So I really need to know some things if you want to write some comedy with me. First off, how good are you at drunk driving?
Drunk driving?
Like, how loaded can you, get home?
Good heavens, I always call a cab in that situation. I would never take other people's lives in my hands at the road. Drunk driving,
Yeah, well, I guess we all have our faults. What about, driving potential, comedy partners around town? Could you pick me up at the bus stop?
Oh, well, I'm afraid that I get around by bicycle, so perhaps that we could, if you were interested in investing in a bicycle, I would be happy to be your bicycling partner and keep those nasty automobile drivers out of your way. I can show you some tips for the road. We would have a fantastic time.
That's right too, buddy. What is your opinion on, what's your opinion on layering jokes and pornography?
Layering jokes with pornography? Well,
Yes. Can you do full body glitter application?
full body glitter application. I'm afraid I've never tried such a thing. Why, in what situation would one want to layer jokes, pornography, and body glitter? I'm afraid that I have far too much respect for women to entertain any of the things that I can think of.
You got respect for women?
Well, certainly.
This shit is over. Alright, I think we're ready. Hello? Dream Day Comedy and Titty Emporium. This is Angora.
Yeah, I'm calling about the box of cats you had for sale on Craigslist.
Oh, absolutely, sir.
Yeah, well, it says that they're half alive. Now, what I wanted to know is it half the cats that are alive, or are the cats each individually in a state of half aliveness?
They're pretty much half the cats are alive, and the live cats are feasting on the dead ones.
Oh, that doesn't sound entirely healthy.
I guarantee you these cats make grade B beef.
Oh, well,
You can eat
look,
these.
I'm not interested in eating pussy.
Why the hell would you get?
Well, I mean, to a certain extent. extent I am, but what I want the cats for has nothing to do with meat.
I don't care what you use it for. What the hell do you plan on using it for? Jesus.
Well, I'm a pre-op transgender female, and as a male, I have not traditionally manscaped, but I figure that once I'm a chick, you're not really allowed not to trim your shit down there, so I just wanted to practice shaving my pussy.
I'm pretty sure I can sell this box of cats without hearing your fucking life story. I think I'm ready to... Oh no. I think I'm pretty much ready to start this show. Who here's having a good time tonight?
Seriously, we're gonna like start this show or what? These silly little phone jokes.
I know, they're so
Trying
silly.
to condescend to people with silly little phone jokes.
Silly little phone jokes, Craigslist ads.
Is that your actual phone ringing?
Oh, it is.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Hello? Oh, okay, yeah. So you're calling about my I Missed You connection.
We're doing a show.
I don't know. Hold on, this is really important. Let me just verify something. Okay, so when did we meet? I mean, how big was this? Because I remember the size here. I just remember. What color was it? What were you wearing? What were the pants that you were wearing? I've gotten a lot of prank calls on this. A lot of people think I blew them behind the frontier. What do I look like?
Okay, like seriously. You see this shit this picture? Yeah, no, that was part of the joke. That's comic timing right there. It's been this way all week, you guys. I know that if you've been keeping up with this silly little injury and the goings-on of Dream Date Comedy, it looks like we've been having all kinds of fun all week. Sexy times, little party, writing sketches, being funny, thinking of funny ways to open shows instead of this. But no, it's not like that. Those pictures are being taken without my consent. I spent half the week in a complete drug-induced haze while she answers fucking phone calls for her Misconnections ads, which are basically all of the Misconnections ads on Craigslist. You ever read those ads and think, what kind of crazy motherfucker would... Like, there's one. But like, here's the creepy part, you guys. It's the sketch writing that she's trying to get me to do. She's kept me in my bed, drugged up, going like, hey, we need to write more sketches. We need to write jokes. I love your jokes. I'm the only one that reads all of your tweets, she says. You know? And it's like, I'm like, hey, I'm a little, I'm laid up and everything. But maybe we could write a sequel to the Manny the Cannibal sketch. People seem to like that. We'll just write a little sequel to the Manny the Cannibal sketch. And then, when we get to the open mic tonight, we'll make the sequel to the Manny the Cannibal sketch, the cue to move to the last joke. But the thing about the sketches that I write is that they all come from a very, very real place.
Manny the Cannibal can't be dead.
Manny the Cannibal is dead. He was killed on stage.
Jason? I think we're getting a little excited. I think you've already done quite a bit. I think you need a rest. I think you need a break. Wouldn't you agree?
Whatever.
Let's move you over here.
Yeah, let's
Let's move you over here. You sure that you're not going to hurt yourself any further. We love you so much. Just sit right here, and I'm going to take good care of you, I promise.
Thanks, dude. No, please don't. Hang out for a minute.
I'm going to take great care of you, and we're going to write a lot of sketches together. My comedy writing partner, Jason Green, everybody. I'm just glad that wasn't the mic stand. Once again, my name is Ann Gora. Welcome to Comedy Evolution. We have a great lineup for you tonight, and I think there is no better way to start this than with Jason Mora.
Thank you. I love how your stage hands all dressed in black. Oh shit. Smitty.
That's pretty good.
And that's it for my crowd work. So, anyone celebrate Father's Day this last Sunday? Anybody?
Yeah.
That guy? That guy? Alright, right on, yeah. Did you guys get what you wanted?
No.
No? No, you didn't. It's because Father's Day sucks. The reason we're celebrating Father's Day was probably the biggest mistake of our lives in the first place, right? I mean, you're never gonna live that one down. Every year, you know, here, Daddy, I made you this. Thank you, son. And you die a little more inside. I went to the zoo with my family, you know, and I got to be told which animals to go see on Father's Day. That's nice. It's always fun to do. I love getting told what to do by my 2-year-old son, because I mean, let's face it, he's the boss in the house. You know, my wife tries, but no, she doesn't even come close. Yeah, you know what we watch on TV now? Sorry. We watch Dora the Explorer and Go Diego and stuff like that. Dinosaur Train. What the hell is that? Oh, it's a train with dinosaurs. Oh, what a brilliant concept. Let's throw that in front of a 2-year-old, see how he reacts. Daddy, more dinosaur train. And I put it on too, because I'm weak-minded and weak-souled. Father's Day sucks compared to Mother's Day. I mean, like, I go all out for Mother's Day, you know? I get up way early, I start making the waffles, I put the flour on the thing, kiss my wife, oh, so gently. I go wake my son up, make him say Happy Mother's Day. Say Happy Mother's Day. He got his arm up behind his back, say it. I will break this thing, say it. You know what I mean? You know, we spend like $100 on her present and, you know, get her whatever she wants, you know? Because mom's got the toughest job in the world, you know? Daddy worked 9 hours a day, he's not even there. You know, he's supporting his family. He gets home, he has to wash the dishes, you know, make dinner, because, you know, mama doesn't know how. You know, so mama got the roughest job in the house, right? And so that's why she deserves a better day. I've convinced myself of this. It kind of hurts. You know, the reason I'm a father is because I'm stupid. And I don't believe in birth control. I'm Mexican and Catholic, so what am I going to do, right? It's the Pope's fault I can't wear a condom. Anyways, so like, the day my son was born was probably the most disgusting, awful, horrible, most beautiful, wonderful experience of my life. I mean, it's that overwhelming. It's two extremes right there, and it's you in the middle, just experiencing both horrible things. And there's a lot of things they don't tell you about, you know, before you get in the delivery room, like, you know, how people are just gonna walk in and flip that canvas up, whoop, and we're getting really good in there. Yeah, getting nice. Like, Doc, I'm right here. So's my mother-in-law, and my sister-in-law, and my mother. Have some tact, man. Thought that she was there for a reason. You know what I mean? Like, the first time it happens, you're like, ah! 6 hours of this and she's sweating, cursing, that's the least of your worries. Then they don't tell you that, like, when you're helping her to push when the time comes, like, they put her legs out of the skirts and on your shoulder and somebody else on the other side, and then they push your legs back. You don't know this, but it's true, you know? And, you know, at that moment, my wife actually dislocated my shoulder. So we're in the delivery room, like, push, and then... But I didn't think I had any leg to stand on to complain about pain at that point, you know? So, after my son was born, I kind of just lethal weapon it in the corner, you know? Oh, I'm so happy! Oh, hey, Doc, can I get some anti-inflammatory or something like that? Wrap this? And, yeah, I held my boy for the first time, and it was amazing. It was horrible. All covered in viscera and guts, and I said I wasn't going to cut the umbilical cord because I'd be too disgusted. But I was just so overwhelmed, I went for, all right. Like, you know what breakfast sausage feels like? That's what it was. That's what it felt like. So yeah, that was a little weird. And like a week after my son was born, like her friend, my wife's friend, came to stay with us for a week to help her out a little bit. And while she was there, she got her period. And she's like, I invited you, not your friend. And like, I walked in on talking about maxi pads and stuff like that, and she's just like, oh, sorry, Jason, did I embarrass you? I'm like, I just saw a person come out of there covered in guts and blood! You think a little tiny bit of blood's gonna bother me now, lady? I used to be such a nice person. When my boy grows up, I think he wants to be a dinosaur. Not like a paleontologist, or like, something like that. I think he wants to be an actual dinosaur. He's obsessed with like T-Rexes and stuff like that. And like, I'm T-Rex! And you're daddy T-Rex! No, I'm not. Let's try something more real. How about a book? Look, we got books. Oh, dinosaurs eat books! I want him to be like more of a man than I am because I'm not much of a man. Not really. I don't fish. I hate the outdoors. What kind of man am I going to teach this kid to be if I can't teach him how to be a man? You know? I'll be out playing baseball with him. I don't even know the rules to baseball. All right, son, you can't run with the ball like that, I think. Don't forget to dribble. Yeah. Go! Mexican. Anyways, that's all I got tonight, folks. So thank you very much.
There's more, everybody! The first man I've heard in a long time who actually tells period jokes. It's okay, get some Midol, Jason. I survived. Coming up next, the very funny man, Mr. Caleb McLean!
Yeah!
How you doing, Evolution? Doing good?
Yeah!
Awesome. I didn't realize that we have a superstar in the audience today. We have Tommy Chong sitting right over there. It's freaking awesome. Kid Rock is right outside. It's freaking great. Eric Clapton right up front. I don't know where Morpheus went. I think he just jacked into the Matrix again. So anyway, my dad used to say this really weird thing. He used to say, hey Caleb, you're gonna call it a night. That's Dad. Pretty sure they already called it. Someone has already called it that. Yeah, kind of sucks for Magic Johnson. Like that dude, he got HIV. Like shit. Good luck getting laid after that. But even if you do, it's gonna be someone else with HIV. Like you just might as well call it a rap on life. Like you just kill yourself. Like this guy survived like 18 years with that shit. But I got HIV one time. kind of sucks. I got HIV, and I couldn't figure out the other letter, and I lost it hangman. So, so there was this. I don't know if you guys know about this British guy that got into the London Times for losing 150 pounds, and I just thought, what a dumbass. He should keep better track of his money. So I don't know if you guys know, I have a dog, and she's a border collie, so she's like really fucking smart. And I asked her if I was like, hey, baby, you want a bone? And she just gave me this weird look like, you son of a bitch, you had me fixed 8 years ago, and now you're asking me? God. Oh man. I'll tell you, like, I just have like the worst memory in the world. Like, I'm totally like the dude from Memento. Like, I need to have like tattoos reminding me what the hell I'm doing. It's like I need one right here. It's like, this is a microphone, arrow. What am I doing right now? Jokes. Oh, good. Look at Notepad for additional information. It's good. So I think racism is interesting. You know how like some people say all black people look alike, or how all Asians look alike? Well, I think white people got like the worst rap because, stormtroopers, like those guys really look all alike. Like, come on. That's cool. So, do you guys know about the Stairmaster Baiter? Like, it's this new thing at gyms. It's not patented. I tried it out the other day. Didn't work out so well, but you can try it. You can try it. It's good. It's good. So, let's see one more. That'll be good. There was this thought. I was thinking about the Matrix, of course. What if you replaced Agent Smith with like Arnold Schwarzenegger? That would be awesome. I don't know if it would work out so well. Because you got Neo and it's just like, whoa. But you have Arnold, where they're like getting into the gunfight, and they're pointing guns and they're, Neo's like, you're empty. You're empty. You have to get down. Yeah, that. I should have thought that a little more. I'm pretty sure. But speaking of Star Wars, is force fucking considered rape? I don't know. Alright, my name's Caleb McLean. Thanks for coming out to Comedy Evolution.
Caleb McLean, everybody! A little too soon. A little too soon with the force fucking. My parents were raped by the dark side. Once again, you're at Comedy Evolution. Who here's having a good time tonight? But yeah, we got some really funny people coming up tonight. But to all of the funny people coming up, I need to remind you one thing. We actually have a pretty full lineup here of really funny people. So we are going to cut you off after 7 minutes. And we're going to flash a light at 6 minutes and 30 seconds. And this isn't Poltergeist. You definitely want to go into the light if you see it. Because I have a pair of crutches that aren't mine, and I'm not afraid to hit you with them. Coming up next is a first timer who's ready to bat
that I am Joe Chambers. My very first time I was listening to this lesson, I was drunk. Woke up, wrote some jokes, and here we are. Hours later. So we'll see this a whole lot. Recently got out of a dry spell, partly blamed because I left Albuquerque, and it's a hard thing to do. Because in Albuquerque you can, girls walk around in, guys who are very lucky, because girls walk around here in short denim shorts and bikini tops, and that's perfectly acceptable. That's fine. That's no one thinks anything of it. That's very sexy. Now, I moved to the Midwest, where we have to redefine our view of sexy. You know, instead of short denim skirts and bikini tops, I look at a girl with a nice North Face fleece. You know? A really hot scarf. And, but nothing in this world compares to sexy mittens. Girl has sexy mittens, you are good to go. That is the ultimate, the end all be all sexy mittens. So it's a beautiful thing. Go for the sexy mittens, gentlemen. When you're in a dry spell, everyone seems to be giving you advice. Everyone has, this will work, this will work, this worked for my last girlfriend, this worked for you, this blah blah. The best advice that I was given, a friend of mine said, find what the girl likes, and then try to make that something sexual. It seems easy enough. It's not always that easy. So I was, hanging out with a girl, and she was really into board games. At first, it's really easy, you play Monopoly, and yeah, I will go directly to go collect my $200. Baby, you sunk my battleship. It's easy at first. Even Jenga is easy. You pull a piece out, put it back in the middle. Pull a piece out. On top, baby, on top. Sometimes it's a little harder. There's nothing sexy about saying, I really want to take my armies and fortify Siam so I can hold Australia. I'm going to put West Africa and push on into South America. It doesn't work that way. They don't, for some reason, they don't love risk. And that's a shame. Ladies should love risk. Eventually, I got out of the dry spell, and I would like to, personally, from the bottom of my heart, say thank you to whoever wrote 50 Shades of Grey. Because, thank you, yes. Every lady here has read it, and gentlemen, I'm in a comedy club, so you haven't. Your mothers have read it. Those weird noises coming up from their room upstairs. It's, she'll get over it soon. Turn the volume up in the Skyrim, and wait it out. Because it's bad in the past, but they're good books, apparently. I have not got this much action since the last Goosebumps book came out. And, you laugh, those were sexy books, Turn ahead to page 76 for the front cave, 84 for the back cave, or 84. Eaten by a bear. I need to take my finger off the page. I'm going back. They're amazing. You tell a 12-year-old girl that you got to the end of R.L. Stein's Mystery Death Trap, and you're getting second base. We're talking under the training club. So you're good. Summer of 2009 was good to me. Just say that. I'm Joe Chambers. Thank you so much.
A star is born, Joe Chambers, everybody! How was that for a first fucking time? Was that not fucking epic? I think that deserves an extra round of applause. Bravo! A lot of people are nervous whenever they do comedy for the first time, and actually the person who started this open mic suffered from Tourette's. And, sometimes people say to Jason and I, they go, what if we have an affliction? Can we still do stand-up comedy? And I just want to let you know that indeed, Dream Date Comedy encourages individuals with any of the following afflictions or maladies to join us. Tourette's, tremors, quagmires, dropsies, the Harry Potters, rabid nymphomania, SIDS, Lou Gehrig's, Daryl Strawberries, strawberry shortcock, bath salt addiction, whiskey dick, Xanax twat, sugar tits, HIV negative, HIV positive, HIV ACDC. HIV is hives. Liver diarrhea, funnier diarrhea, live and let diarrhea, colon low fish poisoning, low job poisoning, rectum rash, thrush, rush, burning bush, chapped lips upstairs or down, clotted jizz, type 69 diabetes, cleft cunt, and complications arising from partial birth abortion. No matter who you are here at Dream Dates, we accept you and we love you. Coming up next is somebody whose name I've never read out loud. So I'm going to need him to come up here and make sure that I pronounce it correctly. It's Jarrett Querubin. I was still worried about the last name. I just pronounced it. Yeah.
There you go. Get your own fucking mic. I didn't write my last name down, so that's offensive to me. And I'm also offended because of Joe. We brought you back to this fucking city and you just shine everybody up. His card is open at the bar, so drinks on Joe all night. Son of a bitch. So, I didn't really, actually, I just tore a page off the back of the book. I didn't write anything new down, but it took me a lot of thinking to remember what I used to write down because I've been drinking all day. So, let's try this out. There's a sign. It's a fucking sign. It's right next to Nexus, and it's a true sign. It says 1 in 6 New Mexicans are suffering from hunger. Did you know that? 1 in 6. I'm looking around this room. There's at least 4 people here. I just ordered jalapeno poppers, so I'm not one of them. But I read this sign because it's in a church that my parents go to. I don't go to it. My parents go to it. But I was reading it and I was eating a Danish that they give you at church. And then I went back inside and got like a plate of celery and carrots that they also give you at church. And then it occurred to me, because I wasn't hungry at all. Like I was completely fucking sated. And it says that 1 in 6 new people in Mexico are atheists because they're not going to church and getting their Danish and fucking vegetable dishes. And that's sad. So what that told me was that anytime you see a homeless man on the side of the road, he's probably fucking atheist. And that changed my mind because I feel like there's signs to say, instead of we'll work food over, just say trick or treat. Because everybody gives people food who have to say trick or treat. And that just makes sense to me. That was a long joke. Another thing Christians do that kind of bothered me, when they stand outside of like Planned Parenthood. Anybody here ever been to Planned Parenthood? Call me later. But, so, the thing about Planned Parenthood is this, nobody actually knows what's going inside. You call and get like a number and secret code. It's kind of like going to like Orlando's Hideaway. And I feel like to like hip it up, make Planned Parenthood more hip, they should do what they did in the 90s, like with all the cool like 90s show. And if you Planned Parenthood, they should write hood and like graffiti. So, it's like Planned Parenthood. And then when you walk inside, the receptionist should have like, some dubstep going or something crazy or some shit. And, cause that makes sense for nobody in there's of age. I've been there, nobody there's of age. Sometimes I go there to like try to pick up girls and I can't, they ask me to leave right away. That's awful. I wrote down the word Dan. That guy's Dan. Hey Dan, what's going on? There's 2 African Americans with glasses in here today. Take a look at that, because that's kind of like seeing velociraptors. It's rare. What that means is that the 3rd one's someplace else, waiting to get us. Never go. Oh shit. This is just truth about me. Nobody here actually knows me because no one ever came to my house, which is fucked up because I invited all of you to my house. like every day on Facebook. You guys just pass it up. Joe's been to my house. We played Risk at my house. That's why I got late. And this is it. This is the basic point. Anytime anybody's in my house, I would much rather play video games than get laid. Ever. I mean, it's probably the downfall of every relationship I was ever in. I'll entirely ignore girls because I'm playing Zelda. That's and that's what it all comes down to. Like when I'm actually having sex, I am not good at sex. That's a fact. Doesn't mean I won't do it. Just saying I'm not good at it. Because everything I've learned from video games is that first of all you have to be fully charged, and which means you couldn't have done anything all day, right? And then to do the super move at the end. Otherwise, what's going to happen is I'm going to have to like stop halfway through, go to the kitchen, eat something to rejuvenate my health, come back, and then I'm going to say like, stop. Let's try this again tomorrow because I have stuff to go do right now, and push pause and come back to it. And you know, and I think it all like transfers. Like I've gone down on a girl once in my entire life, and it was last week, and. The whole entire time I just kept thinking about Skyrim and dragons and how I felt like a dragon delving deep into her vagina. Obviously trying to attack some city. And there was something back there I was supposed to try to get, but I wasn't even sure what it was anymore. I don't even know what I'm talking about on this joke. I've been drinking all day. I just was trying to illustrate that. And that's how I had sex. And the other thing, I like telling this joke because it makes me laugh and I get to sing once in a while when I do it. The number one move that works on sex, and every man here should absolutely listen to it, take it home and do it. If your girlfriend's here, have her go to the bathroom and close her ears or something because it's going to be a spoiler. Is to do the Tetris moves during sex. You have to do the Tetris moves. And basically the position is, no, I don't know what position. There's like missionary and there's some other ones that have names. I don't know what they are. I know missionary. Because you can lay down flat, like the most powerful Tetris piece. Just a bar. And then you get this one. And then this one. That's a good one. And this is my favorite. Alright. Anyways, I'm Jared. Thank you very much.
Oh my lord, how badass was that? Give it up for Jarrett Guerin. Your last name is very unique. What is that?
It's not gay.
Oh, okay. So on the Twitters, who here reads the Twitters? Did you see that Gwyneth Paltrow tweeted the N-word? Did you hear about that, Smitty?
No, I didn't.
She thought her vegan powers extended use of the N-word. It's a common mistake. You're like, I shop at the co-op. You know? I go to certain stores, I can say this word. I don't know where I'm going with this. I can't use that word. But coming up next is someone who can. Ladies and gentlemen, Smitty! Gentlemen, Smitty, everybody!
Oh, man.
I'm so that entire I had no idea. I got fucking sex with Father's Day. This shit was amazing. Sold me up for the rest of the year. When you married, you don't get the fuck no more. Ain't that right, bro? Ain't married, are you, bro? Let me stop fucking. I started fucking with you too early. Anyway, what my man that was talking about the Tetris and shit? There you go. Hey man, you was thinking about the wrong video game when you was going down on your girl. Instead of Skyrim, you should have thought about like all the old 80s Konami games. When you eat pussy, you gotta go up, down, left, right, left, right. Hey. So let's start, baby. Konami code, baby. Eat that pussy right. Shit. Skyrim
Spider-Man ain't gonna get you laid, man. It might learn you how to make fucking Daedric armor, but you know, definitely ain't gonna get you laid, baby. I play Skyrim too, dog. That shit's fun as fuck, man. That's what I do when I ain't getting sex, because it's my Father's Day. Man, how many of y'all saw the Avengers? Oh, shit. Speaking of old dude, I just noticed why you had that gray streak in your hair and a fucking Fantastic Four shirt on. That shit's amazing. I don't know the rest of y'all know this is supposed to be Mr. Fantastic. His comedy wasn't, but fantastic shirt. I love that shirt. Nah, fuck. That shit was hilarious. Talking about my joke. Nah, let me stop before I get jumped. There's some like bikers and shit in here, man. Fuck, you know, riffraff in here for and shit, man. It's crazy. Okay, how do you get food into your mouth, man? Dude right there. How you get food into your mouth, like, do all that? Like, knock it out? Like, never mind. He's like, I'll shoot you later, man. Fuck with me. You got a gun, I'll fuck with you, man. You didn't say it. I mean, I really have no joke. I'm just up here really bullshitting right now. But I'm gonna try to make y'all laugh today. How many of y'all saw the Avengers, dude? Isn't that movie fucking fantastic? Did y'all see Captain America before? Did y'all watch like all the movies leading up to that shit? You know what I'm saying? By round of applause, you fucking asshole. God damn, participate. Shit. Man, Captain America was stripped out when they took like 18 white dudes and tested them, you know, for superpowers in the fucking 40s and shit. That shit's not real. You know they tested that shit on black people first. Like, you know, good goddamn well, they took good, hard-working white folk and was like, you know what, we gonna test some experimental shit on y'all today. No, they went to the fucking field and got the goddamn lab rats was like, hey, stick these dudes with this shit real quick, see what happens. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we play better basketball than y'all. That's why we get dunked and run real fast. It's your fault. Should have tested on the white folk first. Y'all wouldn't be talking about LeBron right now. It'd be goddamn long Emmanuel or something. I don't know what fucking white name shit. John, Jacob, I don't know, Caleb. I don't know. Sounding about white on the shit. But yeah, man, then like you watch the Avengers and like all the white people got extra cool ass superpowers and shit. And then there's Samuel L. Jackson. Motherfucker has a gun. How cliche is that? All he's doing is fucking yelling at people and got shooting at folk. That's cliche as shit. You can't scare motherfucking aliens and shit because you yelling motherfucker. Like, that ain't how it works. That's not how it works, man. Like, you gotta get some superpowers or something. Like, shit, don't go on them motherfuckers. I don't know, goddamn. Like, do something we good at. Shit. I don't know. I had nothing for that joke. I just thought I used dunk again. So. But let's see what else we got in the magical bag of tricks. Y'all ever notice? Well, I'm on the topic of comic books and shit. You ever notice the only person that has a mobile besides Batman is the Pope? That's just crazy, man. And it's bulletproof. That's just amazing. That's no faith though. That's fucked up. Like shit. You supposed to believe you immortal. You the Pope, goddamn. You got a bulletproof fucking car, you fucking fag. I'm sorry for y'all that believe in the Pope. He's real, man. He's real. Sure. The Congo Terry carrier too. You got a mobile, man. Mobile, baby. Fucking, I was having a conversation with my wife's friends one time. Talking about, you know, the Passion of Christ. And she was just like, man, that was an amazing movie. And I was just like, the book's better. You know what I'm saying? And she was like, they made a book about it? I'm like, bitch. How stupid can you be? Like the Bible. You not read this shit? And then I came here and I realized all y'all believe in monkeys and shit. And evolution and whatnot. So, no, I guess she would think the Bible is fake. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people with superpowers in there. It's like a comic book, man. I believe in God, listen. I'm just leaving it to y'all to believe in other shit. This is not that funny. Oh man, what is this? Don't give me the light yet. unlocks your door when a black person walks by and you're trying to lock it. Cause I did that the other day. It scared the fuck out of me. It's like, oh, this motherfucker trying to get in. It's crazy, man. It was the Jehovah's Witness. Hey, my parents got Jehovah's Witnesses. That's not funny. It is. Cause I ain't had no Christmas since I was like 13, man. That shit sucks. My wife gonna be a rap gifts and shit. I'm like, just give it to me. Fuck. And that's how, you know, I got sex on positive. Just give it to me. Fuck. Anyways, yeah, I think I'm done. I'm gonna rant it all. Holla at y'all, sweet.
Jacked off my microphone. Coming up next to the stage was my old sketch writing partner. A very funny young man, Alan Arsenic, everybody.
Alright, and we're gonna go one more time for Angora, Jason Green, and Evolution. It's been fucking awesome, guys. Seriously.
That was confusing.
What's not very awesome is I got myself in a bit of a car accident the other day in a parking lot leaving the bar. And yeah, I just backed out the spot, totally thinking, fuck it, I got this, you know. I had like 400 or 500 beers in me. And fucking, you know, I was like, oh, I'm good, you know. And so I start backing out. Fuck, what do? You know? So like part of me is like, all right, like you gotta get out and leave the note. You know, you gotta be like, hey, look, I couldn't wait. Here's my number. Call me. We'll exchange information and fix your Lexus, whatever. And but then the other part was like, fuck it, dude, just run. Just fucking get out of here. You know what's signing? It's like 3 a.m. Come on. So I split the difference and I left him a note and then just gave him the wrong number. So, you know, I feel better about that. God. Can someone hand me my beer? This next bit, I just need, it's that night, yeah, there you go, perfect. I've been watching the news, unfortunately, trying to keep up with this whole election thing. What the fuck happened to our country? Like, Jesus fucking, when did this shit show get to this fucking level? Like, on one side, we've got the fucking reptilian but lovable Mitt Romney fucking representing the rich white folk party. And then on the other side, we got smooth talking Barry, the most ineffectual president we've had in years. Where am I represented here? I'm neither black, I'm not rich, I'm white-ish, you know, I guess that'll go. But what the fuck, man? Like, what a shit show. Like, every time I'm like, this guy says this guy says that. You know what I want to do? I want to go out and commit a fucking felony so I don't have to deal with this shit anymore. I just want to go fucking, just like, whatever you gotta do, whatever, man. I'm gonna go rob a bank, fucking, I don't know, step on a kitten, whatever, and just fucking, dude, like, then, like, it'll be fucking great. It'll be worth the fines, it'll be worth the fucking jail time for the first time some asshole walks up to me at a bar. It's like, hey, did you hear what fucking this TV pundit said about issue that? I'm like, hey, buddy, here's the deal. Thanks to Civil Code 781 in New Mexico, as a felon, I can no longer vote. So I don't have to give a shit about what you're talking about. And how fucking sad, you know, and then you gotta fucking get all nice and smooth, like, slow turn, you know, like, yeah, no, sorry, buddy. I'm gonna walk out of here like the bad motherfucker I am, not having to worry about dealing with your low-level political fucking sniveling. Cause it's getting fucking stupid. Oh, that drives me to drink. That's why I need this. I'd like to put it on the left. I'd like to put it on the right. Is that one guy controlling both of those fucking puppets?
Yes.
You can laugh, it's okay. I'll let you. Jesus. Yeah, it drives me to fucking drink. I drink a lot.
she had, an interesting thing to say, I guess, which was, she's like, I see you got a lot of tattoos there. Tattoos are like herpes, because they're both permanent. I'm like, you got that about half right. Because, with your herpes, you're just kind of stuck with that shit. You're not really going to change that anything, except for my tribal kanji butterfly trunk stamp that I got when I was 19 in South Padre Island. I could go down to another tattoo shop and have it turn into something super fucking tasteful, like a fucking tall can of PBR riding a fixture in Portland. What the fuck are you gonna do with your herpes? My name's Alan Tucker. Have a good one.
Alan Arsenic, everybody! Apparently he gave me the last of his beer. Thanks, Alan. I appreciate it. Alan, what's up?
Rent to own.
Rent to own.
If we could just interrupt the comedy show momentarily. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a special guest coming up to the stage. Tonight's next speaker deserves no introduction, but she texted me before the show, asked me to write one, so here we go. She's been published in such illustrious publications as 4chan's B-Board, Kristen's Bookshelf, and OkCupid Enemies. She's the author of such unknown literary classics as The Color Pink, How to Suck Cock in Comedy Without Really Trying, and One Grew Over My Cuckoo's Nest, the story of a piercing gone bad. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Guinevere de Lopez Gables.
Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing tonight? My people of the earth. So, as he was saying, I'm here and I've written a book recently, and I would love to read you excerpts from my book that's coming out soon. The book is called Winning and Losing: The Do's and Don'ts of the First Date. So, before I start, I need to read you my disclaimer for my book, okay? Any resemblance of a real person, living or dead, is purely coincidental. Void where prohibited. And where is that? Fuck if I know. For recreational use only. Not edited for TV. Not recommended for children or anyone else for that matter. No anchovies unless otherwise specified. No animals were harmed in the making of this book except for the one cat I accidentally ran over on the way to get it printed. Not responsible for direct, indirect, incidental, or coincidental damages resulting from hearing the following information. Thank you. So, my book, I write it, it's in 3 chapters. The first chapter is before the date, the second chapter is during the date, and the third chapter is the do's and don'ts of, finishing up the date. So let's start off with before the date. Do shower. Don't shower in a cheap-ass Walmart knockoff brand of your grandfather's favorite cologne, Old Spice. Do shave. Don't shave while driving down the freeway doing 100 miles while smoking with the windows open as if it's in your car. And the last one for before the date, do choose some nice mint gums. Do you have a nice, fresh breath when you introduce yourself to that person. Don't get Big League Chew and see if you can stuff it all in the entire package in your mouth like you could when you were a kid. So, moving on to during the date. Do talk about your family and what they do for a living. Don't explain how your parents are drug dealers and when you were 7 your dad was arrested and your mom had to turn tricks and you started slinging. But the two of you managed to keep the family business going and it's still going strong for the last 20 years. And then offer a free sample of black tar, heroin, or meth. If the date is going well, with a playful flirt and touch. Don't, if the date is going well, playfully flirt and touch with the stripper in the champagne room with the 5 other lap dances you bought, while your date sits in a corner with a glass of water, earmuffs, and a blindfold. always just for sex. As an example, going to Payways and ordering pad thai, and the girl says no because she's allergic to peanuts. But you order it anyway, force her to eat it, wonder why she stops talking and starts turning red, and then stops breathing. The paramedics come and take her to the ER, and now you think she's a bitch for bailing on you for the date early, and now she owes you $50 for the concert tickets and half of the dinner she did not eat. All right, so concluding up in the book, let's do some do's and don'ts for the end of the date. 2, let them know the date went well by a kiss on the lips or the cheek. Don't let them know the date went well by a kiss on the other lips or cheeks of the strippers you brought back because you thought you could have an orgy with them. But the girls leave you out and won't even let you watch. So you go to the bathroom and masturbate and forget to clean off the seats and leave. Then one of the lesbian strippers rubs on it and gets pregnant, and now you have to pay child support. Be honest if things are not going to work out. Don't play along that you really like her, continue to date her, and eventually get married and have kids. And after a great 30 years of marriage, divorce her and marry a woman 20 years younger than her and rub it in her face. And the last one. Do be polite and walk her to her car or her front door. Don't walk her to her car or front door, watch her as she goes to the front door, and then find a tree to hide behind and watch as she undresses, showers, brushes her teeth, checks her emails, masturbates, and then goes to sleep. Then, when she's asleep, start throwing rocks at her window until it breaks. When she comes up to see what the hell happened, you start blaring 9 Inch Nails closer, which included in it is pelvic thrusts. And now you're gratefully remember your lawyer's number because you'll be taken away from the cops. So that concludes the reading of my book. Now keep an eye out for the next series of books, which will include titles such as Winning, Winning, Losing, which is Do's and Don'ts of the Second Date, Winner, the Do's and Don'ts of Marriage and Family, and Loser Death, the Do's and Don'ts of Divorce. They will all be available when and if those things ever happen to me. Thank you. You guys have a good night.
Relationship, which really sucked. I was trying to end it the whole time and it wasn't working. I started sending cards that say things like, you make me want to drink alone. And everything your father said when he beat you was true.
Numerous lists, like tons of lists to why I'm single. Because sometimes you're like, oh, why am I doing this? And then you realize why. And my top couple of reasons are, number 1, don't fucking touch me. Don't. There's nothing worse than being like, dude, yeah, we can totally make out. And then he tries to sleep in your bed forever. And nothing pisses me off more than waking up and having someone's tongue on my neck or ear. And just it grosses me out because you wake up in the morning and they're all sweaty and like on top of you, and you just don't want them there. And you realize that you probably should have kicked them out like 6 hours ago. Like, oh, I'm done with you, go. But you felt like being a nice person and you let them stay, and then you realize why you didn't want to. Other reason, right? I don't want to look at anyone's face every single day. Like my dog, I see her face every day. She's a cool dog. She's a sweetheart. But I get tired of looking at her face. Like, who wants to see someone's face every single day? I know. It creeps me out. Just get out of my space. But there are reasons why it's cool to be single. Because the coolest things come in singles. Like craft singles. You know? Cheese. Fucking processed cheese in singles is a good thing. Or a Crazy Town album. Right? Who wanted to buy the whole album? No. You just wanted the one song, like, come my lady, come my lady. Nobody really cared about the lyrics. It doesn't matter. Or the Williams sisters. Really? Who wants to see the Williams sisters play doubles? No, that's too manly. Singles is the way to go. One at a time, Venus or Serena, either way, I'm gonna feel less feminine. They're too manly for me. But there are, like, downsides to being single. Mostly in, like, being single isn't always fun when you have to have sex with numerous people because, you know, it happens. Everyone needs sex. But then your number starts getting bigger. And you start with, you're like, okay, when I get into the double digits, you're like 18, 19 at this point. For me, maybe. And you're like, when I get into the double digits, I'm done. But then you get to like 12 and you have to move on. And so you start setting limits for yourselves, and then you realize that limits are not the way to go. Because you're always going to surpass them. And you get to the point where you're like, I know your first name, but maybe not your last name. And then you get to the point where you're like, I have to make up a song just to remember all of their names. And then you get into the, okay, for those of you who went to APS, you might not get this, so I'll sing it for you. Because it's the 50 state songs, right? And it's like Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Connecticut. Well, sometimes you speak with enough people that you have to change the states to names. And you're like, Adam, Alex, Aaron, Brandon, Brian, Chris, Connecticut. Nice shoes, nice car, he had a nice job. Nice. He was from Germany. Small penis, small penis, small penis. And then he had no penis. And then he gave up. Speaking of small penises, I work with kids, right? I work with children. Believe it or not, I take care of a lot of children. Don't tell their parents that. But working with children, I have learned. Okay, do you remember? Does anybody remember the game MASH? MASH? Like mansion, apartment, shack, house, right? And it foretells your future. So I'm at the point where I feel like if I play enough MASH and choose Thor enough, that I eventually am destined to marry Thor. Yeah. Right? You like, if I play Thor enough, Thor and I are gonna get married actually last week. Thor and I are having 9 kids. I'm probably gonna live in a shack. Behind the airport. A shack, not just the shack behind the airport. But I'm gonna make $20,000 a year as a part-time like matador. But the upside is that my wedding dress is gonna be glitter.
Yeah.
I like glitter a lot. Okay, so Thor and I are gonna have like 9 kids and I'm gonna get married in glitter. But the downside to that, while I'm excited about like marrying Thor, is have you ever tried to give birth to a Norse baby? Because let me tell you, Viking hats out of the vagina, not such a good idea. You probably don't want to do that. I want to feel like the hammer of Thor. Yes, I do. I do want to feel the hammer of Thor and the god of thunder, and that's hot. But I don't want to give birth to his Viking babies. That's creepy. And Viking babies be not so exciting when you're thinking about birth. I'm Margaret.
Woo! Give it up one more time for Margaret. First time on stage. Fucking singing about being single, you know? Everybody, I love being single. I need to be free. I need to feel the wind in my hair. Like a deadbeat dad. But you know, it's summer, so people want to start pairing up really fast. People don't want to be alone. You don't want to be alone on Christmas. You don't want to be alone on Thanksgiving or 9/11. You want to never forget together.